Alrighty, y'all, g'day on. We're taking a look at things in Australia that just make more sense. Now, it's been quite a while since we did anything even like this, so I'm hoping that means that we'll see and hear about some different things. This, of course, was sent to me by Johnny, so thank you very much for that. I forgot, this comes to us from a channel called Chaos and Tants. This will be linked in the description down below, so you can watch the whole thing uninterrupted and definitely browse his stuff. Now, let's go ahead and get into this.
And the first one is bin chickens. So, bin chickens. Anyone in Australia, I'm sure you've seen them because they're everywhere.
Didn't expect that.
That they actually are called, like their actual proper name, I have no idea.
Look at these guys.
But everybody calls them bin chickens. There's no need to call them a different name, I don't think, because they're bin chickens. That's exactly what they do. These flamingo-looking animals that like to linger in the bins, in the garbage, and grab some food. So it just makes sense to call them bin chickens. 2.
Okay, question for Australians out there. Let me go back here. These guys. These are called, what are they called again? Like an ibis or an ibis, right? One of those, I think. But also, my question is, so here we have to deal with trash pandas all the time, at least in my area. They're really bad. I actually had a fun fact. I had such a problem with, of course, I'm talking about raccoons, right? I had such a problem with raccoons knocking over trash bins and, of course, ripping open the bags, trash going everywhere. It was a shit show. And I got so sick of that happening that, we actually had to build like a little compartment so they couldn't be knocked over, right? Like a barrier. And then, of course, I actually have to put bricks on the lid when I'm not, of course, around the bin. So the bin's surrounded so it can't be knocked over. It's got a thing on the lid so they can't lift the lid and get in there and start tearing stuff apart. You guys have bin chickens, and of course, they like to dig through the trash. Do you guys also have raccoons? So are you dealing with raccoons and bin chickens, or is it just mostly the bin chickens and not really raccoons? Of course, this might depend on your area as well. So if you want to comment on if those are relevant near you and what area you're in, that would be kind of cool, because I just thought of that right now. But I don't know if I really hear so much about raccoons. Here, they could be a bit of a mess.
Animals that like to linger in the bins. 2, we got the power plug switches. Those things, I don't even want to begin to talk about how much time I've spent looking at them, or every time I flip them, just think, why would it not be like this everywhere? Why would you not
I agree.
want or be able to?
This just literally makes more sense. The fact that ours are live all the time and don't have an off switch right on the thing, right? It's just there, live. There's no switch. Pretty weird. So when you're plugging something in, you better have all your ducks in a row. Let's just say that, right? And you got to make sure the kids aren't playing near those here, because there is no off switch. That outlet is live all the time.
We got chicken salt. I don't know what it is. I didn't want to look into it because I didn't want to ruin the magic for me.
Freaking awesome.
I love it. I love chicken salt so much. I don't know why it's not a thing.
It's weird that it's not a thing in more places. I mean, of course, we have a whole, mega list of seasonings here that, salts and seasonings, like, we have no shortage of that here. But chicken salt in particular, it hasn't caught on here. I don't really know anywhere else it's caught on. But, of course, in Australia, it's very relevant. And I think it's cool. I've been lucky to have been sent chicken salt from many viewers, and we enjoy it. We enjoy it a lot. Chicken salt on fries, especially, it's incredible. He's also pointing out chips, right? You can get these honey soy chicken, right? Chicken salt, integrated into snacks like this. But of course, I have to mention this as well. When we're talking about chips right here, you guys have so much more variety in chip flavors, and I can't stress that enough. You'd be surprised as big and, famous as the U.S. is, and especially as famous for snack foods and stuff as we are. We don't seem to compare when it comes to, flavored chips. We have a lot of brands, but they all kind of follow the same flavors. It's always, just regular original chips with salt, or it's, sour cream and onion, cheddar, or nacho cheese. Those are like your core flavors. And then maybe barbecue, maybe sea salt and vinegar, right? Like it literally follows those same like 5 or 6 core flavors. You barely even see any companies step outside of that, with the exception of maybe Doritos. They have some pretty out there ones. That's about it. I feel like you guys, I've gotten sent so much stuff where I'm like, we have never had a chip flavored this, or we have never had a flavor like this in the U.S. ever in my whole life. And it's been like that for, I feel like, dozens of flavors. You guys have a lot of cool stuff.
In other places, if we could get chicken salt on Pringles, I think I would be over the moon, because Pringles are the goated chip.
That'd be cool.
I haven't seen chicken salt flavor Pringles yet, so I think if we could merge that, that would be amazing. But chicken salt just makes sense on chips, like fries. It's just so good. So chicken salt. So number 4, we got those little sauce squirters things. I don't know what they're called, but I'm sure sauce squirter gets the job done. The design of it just makes sense, because I've only ever seen,
oh wow, those are
the
different.
ones where you gotta like rip it off and then you unroll it like it's like that limp end of a toothpaste roll, and it's like not super.
Let's see, it's like 2 compartments. You see this in the middle, and they both squirt from this spot, I suppose,
but
right?
It's messy, and it's you're just pushing it out versus
most sauces come in a little bit of a deeper kind of package like that, and it's meant to just, you rip off the top and you dip stuff in there. I think we maybe with the only with ketchup, really. I think there's portable packs that are more slim like that, and you kind of rip off the corner, I think, or something like that, and you can kind of sort of squirt them. I don't know if they work super well all the time.
Or you just you get the 2 prongs.
We don't have any like that I'm aware of.
Mandatory voting. It is mandatory here. There are fines associated with not voting. I don't think they're major fines, but they're enough where it at least switches the mindset to, it'll at least get the lazy people who are just can't be bothered to go vote, where if you're going to get fined for not voting, at least it makes you feel like you're paying to not vote, versus have no consequence, then it's like whatever. You just,
I feel like that's too many people's attitude in, North America, especially the US, right? So many people are just like, whatever, right? And I get it. Like, you don't have to be dominated by politics in your life. A lot of people aren't. I'm one of them. I don't like to be sucked into politics every day of my life. I find it exhausting and annoying. But when it comes time for elections, especially in your local area, and then of course national elections, it is important to feel represented and try and go out and vote and be part of something, right? And there's just, it almost feels like no incentive other than you voting, right? There's no like incentive and or responsibility. There's no punishment, nothing, no fine. I'm not going to look it up right now, but I bet it's millions of people in the U.S. don't vote every time. Whereas if, in this case, I bet the voter turnout is much better in Australia because of exactly that, because of the way it's structured. Not to mention, don't you guys get, what is it? Snags, right? The sausage snag or sizzle or whatever it's called. I'm pretty sure you guys get something like you go vote and you get to eat. I mean, you guys have voting figured out. Who wouldn't want to go vote? I mean, there's multiple things here that point to, yeah, I'm going to vote. Yeah, Australia's got this figured out 100%.
Love heart. It makes sense.
Love heart.
There's always been a debate why we call a heart the perfectly shaped heart, the love heart, compared to a real heart that looks similar, but not really anatomically. Here, it's called love heart.
Like your actual heart?
The one you'd send in an emoji, love heart.
Okay, so here's your real heart in, your body. There's a heart when I think of the word heart, of course, I'm aware that we all have a heart, right? It's a very important part of your body. But to be honest, when I hear the word heart, I usually would think of this, right? The actual like drawn heart here. Is he saying that there's actually a difference, like maybe an Australian slang or Australian like language, right? Like you guys say love heart, specifically referring to this? I think that's what he's saying. I've actually never heard that before. That's pretty interesting. So if you say heart, everyone's supposed to just know that you're talking about your anatomy, your heart. And if you're referring to this on the right, you're supposed to refer to that strictly as a love heart. Interesting. So this would be a love heart emoji. I have a love heart tattoo, whatever it is, right? That's interesting. I get it. It does technically make more sense. So I will give you that. I don't also find it as like a huge deal, right? Because we just say heart for both of these here. And usually people can draw which one you're talking about based on how you use it, I feel like. Okay, what's this mean?
I guess maybe not every. I haven't seen all of them, but I'm pretty sure on most, if not all, beer, wine, whatever ways you can get your alcohol, on it they'll show a standard drink amount. So 2 standard drinks, and it's a good way to track a standard drink.
I thought he meant the alcohol percentage. I'm like, okay, I mean, that does make sense. But every country I've seen beer from has that, including the U.S., right? That's not it. This is what he's talking about. Standard drinks, 2.0 approximate. So it's taking, the size of the drink, the alcohol percentage, and it shows you 2 of these will put you like, I'm assuming that means like put you at the limit for like drink wise, right? Like the drinking limit or the alcohol limit rather. That is really smart. Wow. And it does actually, I correct myself. This doesn't look like beer. It looks like Jim Beam, like maybe a whiskey and Coke or something. One of those pre-mix kind of drinks. Regardless, that is super smart. That is something, as far as I know, we definitely don't do that here. We show alcohol percentage on any of your alcoholic drinks, but you have no idea how many of those put you at the limit of what's safe to drive and what's illegal and what's not safe, all that stuff. It's a guessing game. That is actually really cool. I'm surprised that's not standard everywhere. That totally makes sense. And it's odd that more places don't do that.
Drink amount. So 2 standard drinks, and it's a good way to track how drunk you are, or how drunk you get based off of a certain amount of drinks. And
now for that drink, it's 2 drinks, right? Now, if it was a beer that was only like, maybe it was a not, super alcoholic beer, maybe it's a beer with only 3% or something, right? Would it say more drinks there for the standard drinks? Would it say 3 or 4, whatever it is, right? 2.7, whatever it is. I'm assuming that changes, right, with the drink, or is it just 2 no matter what?
Makes sense.
That's the only part I'm like doubting in my head.
They got the health star ratings on their food. They give you a general.
I noticed that from try tests.
Is, whether
mail times. This is super smart. I don't know why we don't do this here. It would really, for a lot of people that don't seem to understand that a lot of foods they eat are not healthy, it would at least help spell out a little more like, hey, look at this health star rating. This is not good. It would help some people out here, for
good,
sure.
Bad, ugly. Of course, it's not perfect. I'm sure
it's not perfect,
some people
but
would debunk that a 4-star rating is still good or bad, and vice versa with the low stars. I'm sure you could find people disproving it, but as a general guideline,
it is cool as a general guideline.
Just put something on the package just so at least people have a rough idea.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense, and it's one of those things that I've seen on other countries' products, and I never thought about my whole life till I saw that, and then I thought, why don't we have that in the U.S., right? I'm surprised there's not any sort of health rating on there at all.
Number 9, we got the culture of walking around barefoot.
This one's interesting.
I love it. I think it makes so much sense for so many health reasons in terms of having strong feet or muscles, joints, just being a healthy person. And it also just encourages everybody to keep the streets clean and keep things clean. So
that's a good
point. If you know people are going to walk around barefoot,
wow,
you're more inclined to keep things clean. So
that's a good point.
To be fair, I did get my feet burnt when I was in Sydney, though. Like walking on the asphalt, the sun basically turned it into a stove top. So I did burn the bottom of my feet.
Oh my!
From walking barefoot too much and kind of.
Oh my God!
Forcing it, but for the most part, I love it. You live and you learn. Final one here, we got thanking the bus driver. So it's simple.
Thanking the bus driver. We talking about Fortnite?
Well, it's easy.
I don't think we are.
I'm not saying
I'd
we
be
don't thank
shocked.
bus drivers, or other places don't, but it's just reiterated so much.
I kid.
And it makes so much sense because it's just a decent thing to do. It's a polite
Yeah.
thing to do, to be grateful and kind to someone, just even if they're just doing their job. It can mean a lot to someone. You never
That's
know
true.
what someone's going through. So just
Well, I mean, thinking, especially a bus driver, ferry driver, taxi driver, whoever, right? Like, it makes sense because, I mean, still driving in any sort of vehicle has risks and dangers at all times. So, especially a bus driver driving, a dozen or a couple dozen people around and getting there safely is a good thing, right? They took care of a lot of people for that, however many minutes. So, yeah, I think never lose, just general courtesy and kindness, right? Thank bus drivers, thank, people in a lot of important positions because it's a good thing they're there. And that can really make someone's day as well. Because while I believe that humans, there's still a lot of good people in the world, that it's not like everyone in the world is going to be thanking bus drivers and whoever else often. So you might be one of the only people in the last few hours, in the last day, whatever it is, to thank them. And that might really mean a lot to them. It can go a long way. Simple acts of kindness can really have a powerful impact. And I think that should never be forgotten, right? That needs to be always a relevant thing. I'm going to cut it there. That was actually pretty good because there was quite a few of those that we haven't really seen in other videos. Not to mention, I just haven't taken a look at this type of Australian culture and content in a long, long time. Like, I don't even know if I've done this kind of thing this calendar year. Like, so that was actually kind of fun to revisit something like this, but a lot of new things, because this was kind of a more, a video from this year. Of course, we glossed over it. So you want to watch this whole thing uninterrupted and see the full version, please use a link down there and check him out. That was very well done. I just appreciate you watching. So hopefully I'll see you in another one. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.